Hello, my name is Taisha Jackson, and this is my movie evaluation oral presentation for Dr. Akazi's English 112 class. Today, the movie that I will be evaluating is Cool Runnings. This movie is a comedy that was produced and released in 1993. The director is John Turteltaub. The producer is Don Steele. This is also a Walt Disney film, so it's marketed towards being family oriented. And like I said before, it is a comedy. This movie is loosely based on a real life story of Jamaica's first bobsled team, although there are very few actual facts in the movie. The movie is exaggerated, to say the least. The main characters of this movie, first would be Derice Bannock. He's played by Leon. Junior Bevel, he's played by Raul D. Lewis. Yul Brenner is played by Malik Yoba. Sanka Kofi is played by Doug E. Doug. And then Irving Blitzer is played by John Candy. So pretty much the story starts off the lead character, Derice. He's Jamaica's most infamous sprinter. He's the fastest runner in Jamaica. And there's a competition to qualify for the Winter Olympics, for the Olympics track for Jamaica's team. And so there's Derice, Junior, and Yule. During the competition, Junior falls and he ends up tripping Derice and Yule, costing them their chance to go to the Olympics. So of course Yule, he plays the big bad, hard, tough guy, holds a grudge. Derice, however, comes across a man by the name of Irving Blitzer, who used to coach and mentor his father, who was also a famous track runner. And he had this wild idea of, creating Jamaica's first bobsled team, but it never came to fruition, mainly because Derice's father passed away before they could make that happen. So once Derice found this out, since his chance at qualifying for the Jamaican track team were no longer valid, it took lots and lots of begging and convincing, but finally convinced Irving to coach the boys and train up Jamaica's first bobsled team. The film is based in Jamaica. It's filmed in Jamaica. They use stereotypical Jamaican accents, verbiage, bright colors, things of that nature. The movie, however, is it promotes self-pride, being confident and having pride in yourself and in your culture. It also promotes teamwork and endurance and not giving up, which are all things that I think are great messages to send to anyone, but especially for children, since this is a comedy and Walt Disney family marketed. But mainly, so once Irving agrees to train the guys, they, of course, immediately start experiencing hardships. The first hardship is just the simple fact that there's 4 different guys from different walks of life that have to come together and learn to work together, utilizing their roles, but for them to all to come together so that they can be a successful Jamaican bobsled team. Of course, right off the bat, they were faced with hardships, like I said, with just the fact that they're Jamaican and wanting to create a bobsled team. And of course, they're missing some key factors like ice and a bobsled and things of that nature. But their endurance and their determination led them to stick to it, work hard, and ultimately get there. The movie also touches on, like I said, some stereotypes, not just with the Jamaican people and culture, but after the the men qualified for the Winter Olympics, once they got there, they still had some trainings and competitions that they had to do, qualifications. And they were faced with hardships and opposition from people who did not look like them and didn't understand what they were trying to do and the innovation that they were trying to incorporate. Um, Irving had a history. Previously, he was a coach and a mentor for the bobsled for another bobsled team. And then it came to light that he had cheated and totally ruined his reputation. That's mainly how he ended up in Jamaica, just running from that lifestyle and the people who had turned their backs on him there. So, of course, once they got to the Olympics, him and the new Jamaican bobsled team, they were faced with opposition from the critics from before, knowing his past. So that was a hardship for Irving, for him to have to overcome, pretty much rebranding himself. And he used the Jamaican men to do that. Long story short, they end up working together. They build great relationships and bonds, and they end up winning the bobsled competition. Once they got to the Olympics, unfortunately, they did not win the Olympics. They wrecked right before the finish line, but with their determination and hard work, they didn't give up. So they picked up the bobsled and continued across the finish line, and just that act alone allowed them to gain recognition and support, and just what they were looking for from the people who were giving them opposition to begin with. Um, Overall, I'll give the movie 3 out of 4 stars. It was very funny. It used comedy in situations where they were introducing controversial situations, and the comedy was used to kind of lighten the mood, and that worked well. Um, One critique I would have is, of course, the white savior character. That's commonly found in most predominantly African American movies. What the white savior character or complex is pretty much anytime a director incorporates a white character who is pretty much the saving grace in the story. That character serves as the, had it not been for this character, then the characters of color wouldn't have been as successful or wouldn't have the opportunities that were presented to them. And although this is true, and this character is presented in this movie, um, I think that John Turtletop did a good job still making the focus on the 4 Jamaican men and their story. Even though Irving's story did play a large role in it, he had just as much screen time as the 4 Jamaican men. Um, but overall, it was a great movie. Like I said, it had a great storyline and an encouraging message of teamwork, endurance, never giving up, sticking to your goal, and just accomplishing what many may seem or think is impossible. So, like I said, overall, Cool Runnings, it was a great movie. I really enjoyed it, and I would recommend it to pretty much anyone. If you just want a light-hearted movie, something that makes you laugh, but can also learn a little bit about the Jamaicans' first bobsled team. I hope you enjoyed this oral presentation, and I hope you check the movie out and let me know how you like it. Thanks. Bye.